Hi everyone, my name's Andy Robertshaw. Today I'm going to go through a daily Killer Su Doku from dailykillersudoku.com. Somebody on the Facebook group has said that they're struggling with this puzzle. So puzzle number 29361, that's 29361. I think it dates back to the 24th of May 2025, though I am a couple of days after that in filming this. Right, okay, so it's a standard Killer Sudoku. It's a level 9, and it shouldn't be as hard as some, but I think it is. I've had a go myself. I have struggled with it, but I did manage to solve it yesterday. So here goes anyway. 24 cage of size 3 has to be 789. A 6 cage of size 2 has to be 15 or 24. Nothing else is jumping out at me, so I'm going to have a look at some overflow rows here. So I've got 4 rows and 2 extra cells, which add up to 185. So that means, well, the 4 rows add up to 180. So those two have to add up to 5, so 1, 4 or 2, 3. But I can't have 1, 4 because I'll take both options from that 6 cage. So they must be 2 and 3. They must be 1 and 5. Let's do the same for these 4 columns. I've got 197, so that's 180 plus 17. So those two must be 17, must be 8 and 9. Another one I can see is I've got 4 boxes less 1 cell. They're up to 179. So that must be 1 to make it up to 180. I need a total of 8 here to make that 17 up to 25. So 134 or 125. Okay, got an 11 cage there without using 8 or 9. So not 38, not 29, but 5, 6 or 4, 7. Let's now have a look at the left-hand column. I've got 36 between those 2 cages and another 6 there. So this plus these 2 add up to 42. 42 is 3 less than 45. So that is 3 more than this one plus this one. So I've already got... I can't have a 4 there. Can't have 1, 2, 3. Can't have 4 because it's got to be 3 more than the sum of 2 cells. So 6, 7, 8, 9. So these two have a minimum sum of 3 and the maximum sum of 3 less than 9, which is 6. So the maximum for an individual one of those is 5. But I've got 2 and 3 in that box already. Let's fill in the rest of this column with all the options. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, but not 8 or 9 in that one because I've already got 8 and 9 in that row. So, what could I have hit? What can I eliminate from that one? I can't have a 4 there because I need at least 6 and 7, which would be too much. 4 plus 6 plus 7 is 17, too much. Could I have a 3 there? If I got a 3 there, I'd need 4 plus 8 between those two. What would I have here and here? So I could have 3, 1, 7. That's what I have to have. 3, 4 is 7. 3 more than that is too much. So I have to have 3, 1, 7 and 4 and 8 there. Can I eliminate that? Yes, I can. I'm going to follow through with this. So 3, 4, 8, 1, 7, and I'd have 6 and 9 left between those two. So I'd have 1 there and 2, 3. I need a total of 15, but I've already used 7 and 8. So those two will be 6 and 9. In fact, this plus this plus this is 11. I've got 34 between those two. So this plus this plus this is 11. I can't have a 9 in that cell. So I'd have 9 there and 6 there. So I'd have 3, 4, 8, 6 there. I want a total of 5 between those two. For my total of 5, I want 1, 4 or 2, 3. But I've got both a 4 and a 3 in this 15 cage, if I've got a 3 there. So I can't have a 3 there. Let's take that one out. Also, I can't have a 4 in that one. If I've got a 4 there, I'd have 2 and 3 there, so that's 9. I'd have to have a total of 12 there. If I've got a 4 there, I can't use a 4 there, so I've got no total of 12 to go with that. So the 4 can go from that one. So what am I left with here? Between these two, I could have 1, 2 and 6 there, 1, 5 and 9 there, but not 2 and 5 because I'd have to have a 10 there, which is impossible. So 1, 2, 6, 1, 5, 9. So 6 or 9 between those two. Can I do anything else in this 15 cage? So 1, I need 6, 8. 2, I look like I've got a few options there, but I would have 1 there and 6 there. So 2 would have to go with 4 and 9, not 6 and 7. And 5 would give me 4 and 6. So I couldn't have a 7 in this 15 cage. 1, 6, 8, 2, 4, 9, and 5. I'd have 4, 7 there, so 6 and 4. So 8, 9 or 4 there. I couldn't have a 6 in that cell. Right. Okay, let's look at this 16 cage now. If I've got 9 there, I'd have to have 1, 2, 4 to make up the other 7. But I've got 1 and 5 in that box there, in that cage there. So 1 there and 2, 4. If I've got 6 there, I need a total of 10. So I could have 1 there and I couldn't have 4, 5. I could have 2, 7, 1 with 2 and 7. Or without having a 1 in that, I could have 6 and 2, 3, 5. So I need a 5 there and a 3 as one of those two. So interestingly now, I've got 1 or 5 in that cell. If I have a look at what those 3 add up to, those cells add up to 62. So I need 17 in there because 62 minus 45 is 17. So 1 with 7 and 9, or 5 with a total of 12. I couldn't have another 7 because then I need another 5. So I couldn't have 7 with 5. I need a 5 to go with it. If I had 5 and 8, could I have 5, 8, 4? I'd need 3 and 9 there and a 9 there. So if I had 5, 8, 4, I'd need a 9 in both of those cages, which is impossible. So I'd have to have 5, 9, 3. And I can't have a 3 there. I have to have a 3 there. So this one is not an 8. That's 7 or 9. Okay, so this 15 cage, now this is quite an interesting one. I've got 2 and 3 in the box already. I could have 4, 5, 6, or I could use the 1 in there, but I've got a 1 as one of those two already. If I've got a 1 in the 15 cage, it goes there. I can't have a 5 with the 1, so 6 and 8 it would have to be to go with that. Can I do anything else with this 21 cage? Well, I've got to have a 7 in there now, so 2, 3 and 7 is 12. So this plus this has to make up the other 9. So I could have 5, 4 or 1, 8. So I couldn't have a 9 in there. So 5, 4 or 1, 8, I couldn't have a 6 in there. So I could have 2, 3, 4, 7, 5 or 2, 3, 4, 8, 1 in that cage. Right. So now I know I must have a 9 as one of those two in this box. So that one can't be a 9 in the same column. Let's have a look at this total of 11. So 8 with 1 and 2, 7 with 1 and 3. If I've got 4 there, I'd have to have a 6 there, and I could have 9, 1 or 8, 2. But I'd have to have a total of 7 there. Without using a 4, without using a 6. So it would have to be 5, 2. So I've got 1, 2, 1, 3 or 5, 2. So that one isn't a 4. In fact, I've got a 4 or a 6 there and a 4 or a 6 there. So that one isn't going to be a 4 either. Those 3 add up to 8. If I've got a 4, it's that one. So I could have 1, 2, 5 or 1, 3, 4. The 4 comes with the 3. So the 3 couldn't be there. Okay, what else do we see? So what could I have in these two? I couldn't have 1, 2, 3 or 5. So I've got 1 or 5 there, 1 or 5 there. I've got 2 and 3 there. So 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I couldn't have a 4 there because I have to have 7, 9 there, but that's both my options for that one. In fact, I must have a 9 there anyway because I had 1, 7, 9 or 3, 5, 9. So if I got a 6 there, I'd have to have 5, 9. That's not possible. So it leaves me 7, 8 or 9 there. 7 with 8 and 5, we can do that. 8, total of 12 without using a 9, would have to be 5 and 7. Or if I've got the 9 there, what would that do? So I've got quite a few options. I could have 8, 3, 7, 4 or 5, 6. Okay, having the 9 as an option there does make things a bit more complicated. Okay, let's have a look at this 13 cage. So total of 12 between that one and that one. So 3, 9, 4, 7, or sorry, 3, 9, 4, 8, 5, 7. I'll put the set of numbers in there. Right. So should we have a look at what could go in this 16 cage? So 9, not using 1, not using 5, it has to be 4 and 3. 7, a total of 9, not using 5, not using 1, not using 7, 3, 6. Or 3 and a total of 13 without using 5. So I could have 3, 4, 9. 3, 4, 9 Or could I have 3, 6, 7? Yeah, 3, 6, 7. So again, quite a few options there. All right, so still thinking about this. Now, I've just seen something interesting. Where does the 9 go on that row? Right, so a bit of a sweeping one, I know, but let's just consider something else now. The 2 in that box has to be one of those 3 squares. So I can't have 2, 8, 9 there. I've got 8 and 9 in the column there. If I've got 8 and 9 in the column there as well, I need both 8 and 9 there, but I don't have the 8. So the 2 must therefore go in the bottom row, not in the 19 cage. When I add these together, what do we get? We got a total of 60 there, so those 3 add up to 15. Not using... Right, can't use the 9. If I've got a 9, I've got a 2 there. So 9 would have to go with 1 and 5 there. But that's both my options for that cell gone. So can't have a 9 as one of those. Can't have a 9 there. Can't have a 9 there because I've already got one as one of those. Add up to 17. The only place left I've got in that row to put a 9 is there. So in fact, let's rule out some options. I've got a 7-8 pair there, in fact, so no 7 there, no 7 there. Now, what have I got here? I'm going to clear this out and start again with candidates for this. So 7, I want a total of 13. So I've got a 9 there, so 7, no 9, no 7, it's just 8 and 5. 8, a total of 12 there, without using 8 or 9, is going to be 7, 5. Either way, I've got a 5 in that 20 cage, so that's a 1. And those two are 7 and 9 between them. So not 7 or 9 there, and not the 3 or 5 that would have made it up to the 13 there. Not a 1 there. Remember, these 3 add up to 8 to go with the 17 to make that up to 25. So my 1 as part of that 8 must be this one. So not a 1 there, not a 1 there. So no 1 in this 15 cage. So that must be 4, 5, 6. My 1 must go here. That's not a 1. So I've got 2, 3, 1. That's 6. I want 15 to go with it. 7 and 8 between those two. So not an 8 there. So this plus this is 10. So remember, the 3 of those added up to 11 because I've got 34 there. That plus that is 11. So those two are 10. So 7, 3 or 8, 2. I don't want a 5 there. So what else can I see? I've got a 5 as one of those two. So I don't want a 5 as one of these two. That only leaves 3 and 4 for those two. So what can I still have here? In fact, I've got a 7. I've got a 7 there. I don't want a 7 there. 5 and 8 there, and 7 in this one, and 8 in this one. Not 8 there. In fact, I've got 7 or 9 there. 7 or 9 there will bring it straight up to 16, so I can't have that. So 9, 3, 4 or 7, 3, 6. I don't want a 3 in that 16 cage then, because I've got to have one there. Back to my question from a couple of minutes ago. What can I have there? 2 and 6 are the numbers still to go in that column. 9 plus 2 plus 6 is 17. Or in fact, I can rule the 2 out anyway, because I've already got one in the cage. So that's a 3. And it's 1 plus 3 plus 7 that makes it up to 11. So that one is an 8. Right, that's good going. So I've got 19, 20, I've got 33 there. I want a total of 12 there. I have got a couple of options. What do these two add up to? Can we do these two? So 24 between those and 13. They add up to 37. One less than the 38 they add up to. So 8 left between those. It must be 2 and 6. And we know what goes here now. 1, 5, 7, but not a 1 there. Right, okay, so what's next? Can I do anything along that row? So the 2 has to be one of those. We also now know what these are up to. So 13 there and 19 and 1. That's 33. Yeah, I just said it. They're up to 12. It could be 2, 4, 6 or 2, 3, 7. I've got a 2, 6 pair there. If I had a 2, 6 pair there, I'd have a deadly pattern. I can swap those over and swap those over. I have 2 solutions, so not 2 or 6 there. So in this one, I've not had a 5 yet on that row, so I must have a 5 with either 3, 7 or 4, 6. Right. I'm going to have a look now at this one. So that's 88. So 2 boxes plus that minus those is 88. 2 less than 90. So that is 2 less than those 2. And by symmetry, let's have a look at this one. That is 9 less, because they're 81. So 9 less than 90. That one is 9 less than those 2. Right. Does that help? So I do, this 34 cage is missing 3 numbers that add up to 11. So it's of size 6, it's missing 3 numbers. 34 is 11 less than 45. So it must have a 9 in it. So one of those 3 must be a 9. But I don't know which. Nothing more than a 7 in a 10 cage of size 3. But not a 7 there because I've already got one in the row. I've got 10 plus 34 for 44. So those 2 are 1 less than these 2. Right. Excuse me jumping around. I've got a 3 in that column. So 2, 4, 5, 6 left to go there. Not a 4 there, though. So 2, 5, 6. Let's see what goes with them. If I've got 2, then I would need 8 and 9 between those 2. If I've got 5 there, I want 6 and 8 between those 2. In fact, I need an 8 there anyway. Or 6 and 5 and 8. Okay. 3, 4. I've got a 3 as one of those 2. In fact, have I got a 3 as one of those 2? 9, 3, 4 or 7, 3, 6. The only place I could have a 3 is there. So I don't want one in this, as either of those in the 10 cage. Right, let's put I've got 7, 8, 9. Let's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in there, but not 1 in either of those two. So I'm just trying to work out where the 9 goes over here. I've either got a 9 as one of those two or a 9 as that one. I can't have a 9 there because these two are 9 more than this one because of my 81 total. So if I've got 9 there, I'd need 18 there, which is 9 plus 9. That's impossible. So could have a 9 there and the same thing here as here. Right, what happens if I put a 9 there? I need a total of 11 between those two. So these two are 2 more than this one. So 8, 3 or 5, 6. Right, let's play that through. 9, 7, 9. So 9 there will give me total of 11 here. Not a 9 there. Total of 11 there, I could have 6, 5 or 3 and 8. So 9, 6, 5, I'd want a 7 there. And a 9 there. And a 7 there. Right. That's... I can't rule that one out. 9 there. Yeah, well, it looks possible. I'd have a 6 there. Would I? I'd have a 7 there. Nine, 7. Right, okay. Can't rule anything out there yet. Let's have a look for something else. So 4 6s have gone. I've got 4 6 there, 4 or 6 there. So that only leaves 2 5 or 7 as a possibility for that one. Oh, right, I should have seen that. I've got a 4 there, so that one's a 9. That one is a 6. So I need a total of 9 there to make that up to 16. So that's a 7, and that was a 2. A 9 and 4 and 9 and 7. Okay, so no 4 in that 10 cage. No 4 there. No 2 there. No 9 there. So 5, 6, 8 triple there. So that one's a 2. That one's a 4. So they're not 4 and 7. They're 5 and 6. So 5 can go. 2 can go. That one's a 7. So no 7 there. No 7 there. No 5 there. Okay. So what's next then? So I will need a 9 as one of those two in the 34 cage now. Because my 9's got to be one of those 3. I can't have it there. Right. Okay. So let's fill out the candidates for this route. 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. But not 9 there because I've got a 9 in the box. 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. Not a 9 there for reasons I've just discussed. Right. So what? Anything else going there? Sevens, 5, 6 there. Total of 15 there. Right, 8. I've got 8 there. I need 8 and 9. I need 9 there, so it'd be 9 and 8 to make it 9 more than that. Let's fill these in. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. But not a 1 there, not a 7 there. So these two are 2 more than this one. So the minimum I can have there is 5. The minimum I can have there is 3. So I want a 5, a 6 or an 8 there. Now this is interesting. Whichever one of 5, 6 or 8 I have there cannot occupy any of those cells in the same 26 cage. So my 5, 6 or 8 must be one of those. And what goes with it? If you remember, I selected this. I got a sum of 88 there, 2 less than 90. So these two are 2 more than this one, but must include this one. So I need a 2 then, which must go there, and 5, 6 or 8, which can only be an 8 in that one. So that's 8, that's 8, that's 8. So let's do away with those 8s and there as well. And quite a few 8s done away with. Right. So what can I have here? These two are 9 more than this one. So that means this one is 5, because I've got a 4 there. This one is 5 more than this one. So I couldn't have a 5 there, but I could have 3 and 8 or 4 and 9, but I know I've got a 9 there already. So for 5 more than this, I want 3 and 8. 3 there and 8 there. So not 8 there, that one's 5. Not 5 there. Not a 3 there. So that's not a 3. That's not a 4. No 4 there. That one's a 6. 5, 4, 6. So 5 and 8 between those two. Right, so what we notice now is that we don't have a 7 in this 34 cage. So the 7's got to be in the 10 cage. Can only go with 1 and 2. So let's rule out anything else. 1, 2, 7 there. Not 1 or 2 there. I've got a 3 in the box. So 4, 5, 6, 9. I've got a 7 as one of those. In fact, I've already got a 7 in that box anyway. Right, so what's next? So I've got a 2 there, so I don't want a 2 there. That's a 6, and a 2, and a 6. I want a total of 6 there then to make up the 12. Must be 2 and 4, so 2 and 4, like that. So no 2 there. So I can rule out 6 and 4 then from here. 3, 5 and 7 between those. So this 19 then is 3, 7, 9. But not 7 there. What do I have here? 1, 2, 6, 9. But not 1 or 6 there. Okay, so 7, 1. Right, just the only ones I haven't yet populated with candidates. But I've got a 2 in that row. That one is a 1. And those two are 2 and 7. So not a 2 there. Not a 1 there. Right, so what's next? I often say what I'd like to do and then find something a bit more straightforward afterwards. So that's not a 7 because I've got a 7 in the row. 1 or 5 there. Am I imagining things? Oh, no, I'm not imagining things. 8 there, so that's not an 8, that's 9. So not a 9 there. So 3. I've got a 6 in the column there, so that's a 5, a 7, a 3. Let's work on that then. So 1 and 5 between those two. So that one is a 6. I've got my 5 then in the box in the column, so that's 3, 4. I've got a 3 in that row, so that's 4 there, 3 there. So 5, 9 those two. So 6 and 4 there. I've got a 1 there, so 5 and 1 like that. Okay, so I think we're getting close now. So if I've got a 3 there and a 7 there, I need 11 there, which will be 2, 9 or 5, 6. So I can't have 3, 8 or 4, 7. So 2 and 9 that way round. I can't have 5, 6. Right, can't have 5, 6. 2, 9, 3, 8, 4, 7. That's all I could have. If I've got a 5 there with the 7, I want a total of 9 there. But I don't have any options for that, do I? If I've got 5, 7, I've only got 1, 8 and 3, 6 left. But I've got 6 and 8 in the column already. So that's all I could have there. So 2 and 9 are gone. So that one's a 5 and a 9. And that's a 1. Right. Let's have a look at this one now. So if I've got 5 there, I'd have to have 2 and 4, but I've got 2 in that box already. So 7 there and 5 there. Have to have 1 and 3, and they have to go that way round. So 1 and 5 that way round, 8 and 5 that way round. I've got a 5 there, so 6 there, 5 there. So 2 and 9 there, and 6 there, 7 there, so that's 2, 7. So here I must have 4 and 8, and they must go that way round. 3 there, so that's not 3, that's 2, that's 3. Got a 2 in that row now, so 9 and 2, and that's it. Okay, well, that's the puzzle solved. I hope that was helpful. It did take me several attempts to do this. It's certainly as hard as most level 10s I ever attempt, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that was helpful, and I will see you on the next video.